and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca and it's time to put my paintings away for my fruits edition of the PaintGem mini sets. So I did put all my diamonds away the other day, though I have noticed there is just a little bright green floater in that pot, so that's now gone. I need to put these away into my display book. So I'm going to take this sheet out that actually tells me which one is which, so that this case can be ready for my next PaintGem mini kit up, which will be probably next week, I think, before I kit another one up. But it is time to get these away. When I kit this up, I did chop all of these sides to be straight. They're roughly the same size, it's not exact, but they're each going on a separate piece of card, so I'm fine with them being different. But I haven't got the display book ready at all. So this is the display book I use. It is an A5 presentation display book. It has 20 pockets, and the idea is that you can put them back to back so that you end up with 40 pages. However, due to the thickness of the diamond paintings, I like to only use one side, so you just always see one, and I only like to put one set per book, so I do cut out the pages that I don't use. So how many do we have in this? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So we have 12 in here. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we should have 4 more pages here before we get to the middle. So I want to take these out, but then I also want to take out for the other side. I don't do this in any particularly special way. There is probably a whole neater way to do this. But it would involve popping a craft mat underneath to make sure that I didn't cut through any pages on the other side. So I just get my scissors sort of as close as I can to the ones I want to remove. And I say, it's not the prettiest, but because they're clear, you don't actually end up noticing once everything is in. So I want 4 from this side as well. And then again, I'm gonna, I think I've got some remnants of some tape on these scissors. The trickiest part is trying to make sure that you don't catch the plastic underneath for any of them. That is the trickiest part with this, and making sure that you cut it as close as you can without damaging the pockets underneath. And then that is the right size now for my exotic fruits. So I can get rid of those. I also need to take out this because I have my front page. This is from our shop, addmorezest.com. We do the front covers and the stickers for labelling up your PaintGem mini sets into a display book. And I do have some of mine on display. I do have one of my houseplants is actually on display in my kitchen. And I can change them about. I've just not got bored of the one that I have yet. But if I do get bored, I can take one out of here and pop it into there. I then have cardstock. This is just A5. Black coloured card. This is actually 270 GSM. just so you know the thickness. I have a couple of packs, but I have the last few out of this pack, and then I have another one. So the most tedious probably part of this is popping double-sided tape on the back of each one. So let's see if I can do it this way, or if actually the fact that I'm leaning them all on top of each other causes a problem. Probably will be. Let's pull them off. I can flatten them down a little bit easier if it's a flatter surface. So I'm just going to pop a strip top and bottom. You can do it all the way round if you want to. I find top and bottom is enough for me to be able to stick them to the card so they don't move when they're in the display books. And we get to the really fun part once all this is done. I do also need to actually label my display book as well. So I have the front cover in my display book, but I also use one of our labels to pop on the spine of the display book because they go up on my craft bookshelf, which you will be able to see. I am planning on doing an upcoming video on the new bookcase in my bedroom that has ended up holding my diamond painting goodies. I just need a day with decent light, and I will take a picture of that for you. So well, not a picture, sorry, I'll do a video of that and show you. I have a very nice tidy part of it, and I have a very messy part of it, but you will be able, sticking to my scissors, you'll be able to see that, say, in an upcoming video. And then I may do another craft room tour, which is now shop room tour. It's a mixture, still does have a few craft bits in here, but not very many. So when I say craft bits, it has the double-sided tape is in here, and I have glue dots in here just so that they are to hand. But apart from that, and some scissors and all that sort of stuff, it is primarily shop items in this room. So I will give you a tour once we have a few more stock items that I'm waiting on come in, because that will make it look prettier. Believe me, it will look a lot prettier once I have a few more of the items in that I'm expecting. Okay, so that's the boring part, is adding the double-sided tape. It's not as bad actually when you're doing one set of PaintGem minis at a time. When I first started putting them all into display books, after one of the members of our forum showed how they were displaying theirs, it seemed to take me forever. I don't think I did a video on that either. I think I actually just sat at the table and did that. Pop something on YouTube. So I like to try and get roughly the same gap around these sides. Now I know that it will have a bigger side at the bottom, but that's fine. I like to get a nice even part there. And then this one is carambola. So I get my exotic fruits and pop that about in the middle. I think that's about in the middle. It's probably to one side, roughly in the middle. And there is my little carambola fruit, or star fruit by the looks of it. So let's pop that in there. because there will be some of these that probably have different names in different countries. The stickers we have, for the stickers for the PaintGem mini sets, if the PaintGem mini set has names on the paintings, then we have used exactly the same names as in the kits. But then there's a few that don't have names, so we have created names for those. Let's get that roughly right. And this is where a few of them start to look the same, but this one's papaya. There is a few of them that look so similar until you look at them in a bit more depth and you're like, oh, actually, no, that one is different. But yeah, many people actually use different names for things, for fruits and veg, which I didn't realise. I didn't realise until, like, I knew we can have different names for things, you know, trash and bin and all that sort of stuff. But most of it, I feel like I understand that there's two different names and what those two different names are. But there was one I had no idea. So we call them peppers in the UK. It's a vegetable. They come in red, green and yellow primarily, which in America is called bell peppers, which is all kind of understandable. Now this one is not passion fruit, this one is pitaya. I don't know, very exotic in my opinion. Yeah, but they're actually called capsicum in Australia. And I didn't realise until my nephews were telling me that they were eating capsicum. And I was like, what? What on earth is that? And it turns out it's a pepper. Or what we call a pepper. But hey, just so you know, little sidetrack from exotic fruits, that some of these names, you may well look at them and go, what? And it's because they're called something completely different where you are. See, we've got an orange coming up. I don't know, is orange exotic, or is it exotic due to the fact that it's grown in hot countries? Is that what makes it exotic? Maybe. So this one is mangosteen. I actually can't see where I'm placing the label due to my fingers, but I think I've just got to the point where I roughly know where it is in the middle. And I'm popping them in one by one as I go along, because also popping them into the sleeves is a little bit of another tedious part of it. But getting them lined up on the card and sticking them down, I kind of like. It's like a finale to the painting. It's like, oh, yes, I'm all done. This one looks gorgeous. Oh, we have a rogue diamond on that one. It's not come off it though. Maybe it's one of my escape victims when my diamonds went everywhere when I took them on the plane. They didn't like it on the plane. It's my own fault. It's the type of storage that I had and that I used for it. If I'd have used the original pots that came with my storage case, I'm sure it would have stayed put. But the small 28 containers, there's a couple of them that I've got in there that just, I'd not used them before. They were new ones. So therefore, I hadn't noticed that they popped open so easily. But it's all good. We got the diamonds back. I still had plenty to do all the paintings. Durian, is that what that's called? I would never have been able to guess these on my own. In the past, I've pulled up the PaintGem website to tell me the names of each of them in the mini kits. But now with a lot of the new packaging, they actually have them on the back side of the packaging, and it's so much easier. So much easier to have the details right there of what they're called. Because it's just a quick reference, isn't it? Quick reference. You could, if you didn't want to label, if you didn't want to actually label them up, maybe you just wanted to display them in a display book, you could potentially just put this whole sheet in there. Guava. Yeah, you could just put the whole sheet in there so that if you did want to look it up, you could reference it and get the names of them that way. But I like to give them their title. It's a bit like they're a museum piece. They're a piece of artwork. They're a piece of art that I created. So let's give them a nice display. Then we have an avocado. See, these are very big in Australia, but they have the weather to grow them. We don't have the weather to grow them. We have to import them. What are we on now? Now this one is the passion fruit. Looks very similar. Oh, we've also got watermelon. That's another, what I call a more standard fruit, a more readily available fruit, is orange, pineapple and watermelon. Now, whether that is just because we've been importing them for longer, who knows? Oh, passion fruit as well, I think, is more popular in the UK. I could be completely wrong. It could be that I've just not found a love for eating that type of fruit and therefore don't realise that it's readily available. Who knows? I'm sure somebody in the UK will be like, oh no, I can get this at my local supermarket or my corner shop. But seeing as I also don't tend to do the food shopping, I probably wouldn't see that either. Okay, so we've got watermelon. Only 2 more to go, which is a pineapple and then a pomelo. And then I can put the finishing touches to my book as well. Pomelo. It looks similar to a pear. It's not the same, I don't think. The insides don't look the same. But we have a pineapple. I know that one. I could have named that one on my own. So we'll pop in pineapple. And then last, but by no means least, we have the pomelo. Get my double-sided tape off, or tape strips. This is always the fun part. Getting hold of these. There we go, pomelo. And then, if you notice on my sheet, I still have a label on the top. So you could use this if you were sectioning off different things, the exotic fruits, if you had maybe a display book with loads of them, or maybe you did a big sheet, you could use this at the top. But I like to use this for my spine. So it is exactly right for the spine, and I have them all up on the bookshelf like this, so you can see what they all are, or you can pull them out and see the front. But here we go. My exotic fruits are all done and away and de-kitted, because I de-kitted first to make that a little bit nicer. And I think I might frame one of these in my kitchen as well at some point. I could decide to take this off the background and then re-stick it back on, because double-sided tape, it can rip the card behind, but it can come off if it needs to. Or I could put this this whole thing in an A5 frame and just frame it like a museum piece. I just don't know which one I'd want, because I actually love the colours in, I love the colours in the pineapple, I love the colours in the watermelon, but I kind of feel like I should have something a little bit more exotic. Who knows? For now, they're going to stay in the display book. I'm going to get rid of all that rubbish, and I do tend to keep hold of the last few blank stickers on this. I tend to use them just for little projects that need labelling for a little bit. But my exotic fruits book is done, so I can now get rid of this. I'm happy for this to go. I could just tuck it in the back of one of these, but I haven't got them for all of them. So I'm going to keep them all displayed like this. And I'm going to go and pop this one on my bookshelf with my others. But thank you all so much for joining me today, and I'll speak to you all again soon.